Morning, founders, entrepreneurs, AI builders. In this video, I'm going to go over what I've uncovered as sort of the 7 deadly sins of building businesses in the AI age. And getting any one of these wrong can expose your business to a lot of risk. And that's come out of some deep coaching exercises that I've been doing with different founders. One of the exercises we go through is finding any risk that may be associated with their specific business vehicle, digging deep into the black box of what's ahead for them, the different roadblocks, the different walls they may hit. And we've really looked closely at a lot of these factors and seeing already a lot of AI ecosystem business death out there. So number 3 that I'm going to cover is deeply personal to me because it's the factor that crushed my last internet business, which I scaled with AI processes. So let's jump back into my home office so I can go over this with you guys and hopefully help give you some ideas to protect your business from some of these downside risks and help you get more exposure to the upside, to the opportunity.
All right. Welcome, friends, founders, AI builders, entrepreneurs, everybody in the path of this insane technological revolution. So, here are the 7 deadly sins building businesses in the AI age. Okay. So, let's get into this. Again, if you're building, transitioning, starting something new, and you're looking at these different AI business models, you're building on top of foundational LLM models, you're selling AI automations, you have an AI agency, you're selling whatever, anything and everything, okay? So there's a lot of things you can do wrong in business. Don't get me wrong, a lot. But in this, I'm just going to cover 7, and I think are some of the really, really big ones. In fact, number 3 is the one that killed my last business. So I know for a fact that this one is not complete BS, okay? So number 1, thought I turned my mic off for a second there. Okay, number 1. So right now there's a lot of ecosystem risk, and what I mean by that is specifically there are three really big risks and a lot of other risks too. Of course, the one is just obsolescence, right? Like are not if you are obsolete, this is gonna bulldoze you, right? AI is gonna bulldoze you. There's 3 really other big ones though, so let me show you. Okay, here they are. This is from another video. You can always go and watch this video. Just go back to my YouTube channel. These are the 3 main risks, okay? Number 1, platform or ecosystem risk. If you are building inside of other people's ecosystems, for example, Google or Facebook or something like that, you have platform risk. So, for example, if you're selling voice AI agents to people on Google Maps, a single update, you're kind of screwed because Google has the whole ecosystem actually to deliver that product and service better, faster, and cheaper than you can ever do. Number 2, wrapper risk. I'm going to try to go through these fast. The one update away risk. Okay, if you're just building something on top of, for example, OpenAI, that's just a wrapper, an interface wrapped on top of their tech. For example, all the AI SEO writer tools out there. One update and you're screwed. Okay, the zero edge risk. Now, this is going to be the one that's relevant to a lot of personal brands, course sellers, knowledge businesses, coaches, YouTubers, creators. So the zero edge risk, what it means is you don't have any form of proprietary data, knowledge, systems, tools, architecture, or anything that is protected from these AI models crawling the web. So if they can consume something that is currently an edge for you, your edge will be taken away. So you need proprietary data. You need some kind of a moat. If you don't have a moat, something that can protect your business, you're in trouble. All right, so let's get back down to these, to number 1 down here. All right. Now, next in this bullet point list here, too much exposure to a single AI vendor or platform, for example, ChatGPT. This goes back to building in people's backyards, building in other players' ecosystems, right? If all of your tech is wrapped up with somebody else's tech or an API or some kind of data crunching in the background where you're reliant on their proprietary business data, you have a lot of risk, okay? And then, of course, neglecting AI model maintenance and just not being in front of trends. So if you're delivering AI agents that are quickly becoming obsolete, because literally these updates are happening sometimes within weeks, you need to be on top of that, okay? So in this scenario, if you're committing this sin or this group of sins, I guess, you have more exposure to the downside, to the risk side, with less upside exposure, okay? Meaning as this trend, this AI trend goes up, like exponentially, your exposure is to the downside, to the risk, okay? Number 2, auditing away the human genius, like your specific domain of human genius, and failing to build a moat. Okay, so this is kind of a big one, but I'm going to try to move through it quickly. You can easily lose your competitive edge if you're relying solely on easily commoditized AI tools. If you're just trying to give everything to the machine to do, pretty soon you have a lack of KLT. And what this is know, like, and trust. People who are watching automated faceless YouTube channels, they don't know who's behind those channels. It's going to be very hard to sell them something because people buy and connect from people. So if you're in this situation, you're trying to automate everything away, you're losing your competitive edge. You're just trying to send everything to the AI chat tools. You're outsourcing all your creative energy, your genius, your strategic thinking. You're using unique expertise, right? All to the AIs. And you're failing to build a real competitive advantage, a real moat around your offers. You're not doing the deep work of offer creation to create really deep value that solves big problems for your customers. And you're losing the huge edge of people getting to know you, like you, and trust you. Think about Alex Hormozy, for example. His videos are very easy to connect to. He's always on in the video himself. People feel like they know him, they like him, and they feel like they trust him. So if he drops an offer like his $100 million leads book, it just goes crazy. People buy it. You're not going to want to buy something like that from a faceless YouTube channel, are you? Okay, so if you're exposed to this sin or you're committing this sin, you have what I think of sort of is a lack of trust in your funnel. You have low perceived value in your offers. Your content is commodified and there's risk in your funnel. Okay, so by the way, just real quick, okay, I did put together a video, a quick training on what I'm calling the 7 secrets to building a deep moat in the AI age, a defensible position to defend against the onslaught of these AI emerging technologies. So we're in this video, we're just going to go through these 7 things, okay? The 7 secrets to building a moat. And if you want this video, just go to my Instagram. You can scan this here, and all you need to do is DM me the word 7 secrets, and I'll send it right over. Hopefully my little automation guy will send it over to you, okay? So sin number 3, let's jump into this. So this is the one that killed my business. So story time. Right before ChatGPT really became cool, the APIs and the technology was available to like early adopters and mostly people like me, SEOs who were scaling, trying to build content businesses. We discovered AI content in the form of all these early rappers like Jarvis and all these different early technologies that try to take advantage of the APIs and to exploit that loophole where nobody else was really doing that. Those businesses are kind of gone, by the way. I haven't seen anything from a lot of them in a long time. So that goes back to sin number 1. And for me, sin number 3, what I did was I fell into the trap at the time. And this was, again, before ChatGPT was cool, or rather before it was commercially viral, like before they ever released their commercial product, I just started creating because the edge for me was I could create faster, I could create more content, I could create it quicker. So we got to the point where we were doing 1,000 blog posts in a day, and that worked until suddenly it didn't. Why? Because of commodification. Because suddenly those technologies became so widely available and so cheap that there was no edge. Anybody could do it. My edge was gone because just anybody with a phone could suddenly be doing exactly what I was doing. So, and that goes back to the lesson too, because this generic content, people actually don't trust it. And now they've learned to see it and understand it, and they're getting banner blindness and they don't care about it. When I see an 11 Labs or hear an 11 Labs voice come on a video on YouTube now, I just click away. I don't even care. So if you're focusing solely on AI for superficial efficiency gains rather than deep value creation, big sin. You're screwed, kind of. Implementing AI tools haphazardly without a clear, specific business problem to solve. Yeah, right. You're just dumping content into the social media verse, like image, and there's no strategy behind it. Okay, so you're at risk here of commodification and obsolescence. All right, number 4. Your machines are only as good as the data that you train them on, that you feed them on. And if you're feeding it with garbage, you're going to get garbage output as well. So if you're using incomplete, inaccurate, inconsistent, or biased data, or just relying on vanilla Gemini or ChatGPT chats, just going directly in and asking it for something with pure prompting, and you don't have that agentic brain in the background, the stuff that if it doesn't know everything about your business, if it doesn't know everything about your target market, their needs, their wants, what keeps them up at night, what makes them get up in the morning, if it doesn't know all of that, it's going to constantly just give you vanilla bland content, and that puts you back at risk of sin number 3, commodified content, right? So the deeper you can build context and memory and systems around your processes, your offers, your funnels, the stronger your output is going to be. Okay, so, and that comes back to basically prompting. I guess I kind of wrote this twice here, but if you're expecting like good, smart, or insightful outputs from poor prompting techniques, think again. Okay. So what I suggest you do here, if you want to do this, is go into ChatGPT or Gemini. In Gemini, the feature is called Gems. Okay, so you want to go, let me see if I can write this. It's called Gems, and in ChatGPT, it's called Custom GPTs. Okay, so what you want to do is go in there. You can create these custom GPTs for free, and you can fill it up with your knowledge base, with everything from your offers, your funnel, your URLs, your target market, every little nitty gritty detail about your business, and just go in there and just train it. Just add all that stuff in the form of PDFs. I mean, I'm even uploading my funnel URLs directly into these things. So when I ask for to give me a call to action, it knows exactly what that is. Just quickly as an example, right here is my personalized assistant. I can ask it something like, all right, I can just say something here like, give me a LinkedIn lead magnet post for my Severance Secrets Moat offer. I might not love the content, but what it's going to do is it's going to go in there and it's going to find everything about that offer that I've given it. Okay, as you can see here, like anything, it would need some editing, but if you scroll down one single prompt, it knows my offer, right? Get the free training, follow me on Instagram, and DM me the 7 secrets or click the link in my bio. That's my funnel. That's it. So I don't even have to do that with it, okay? So yeah, please just do that. It's truly awesome. Okay, number 5. So this is maybe more relevant to the more technical founders out there who are trying to build inside those ecosystems, exposing themselves to risk. One of the ways that you can maybe hedge against that is by building more unified systems that connect more in the back end to other systems. And that kind of goes back to creating value, getting very sticky with somebody. So if you're building AI in silos, right, and not as a unified system, that's sort of sin number 5. And part of that is building an agentic brain. And we were kind of just talking about that too. But essentially, if your AI systems don't have memory, they can't track sessions, they can't track customers, what the customer asked them for in the last session, or starting to build these customer profiles and building memory through RAG, and then being able to connect through new protocols like MCP, then you guys should look this one up, by the way. It's absolutely insane right now. MCP is a connective protocol allowing agentic systems to connect to other things very easily in a very low-tech way. Awesome. This is sin number 5. So really, this is important for getting stickier and deeper in with your customers and your clients, giving them more value. So if you're not doing this, your value is kind of low, you're easily commodifiable. Somebody else can just spin up your system, and because they don't have that sort of that stuff that only you can do, that only you have done, that only you have connected in the back end. You have a lot of risk for this one. Okay, so let's do sin number 6. And this goes down more to the early stages, the building the right foundation for your business. Okay, big problem I'm seeing right now. Choosing the wrong business vehicle for an AI business and skipping all the validation and research stuff. Okay, people are just jumping on whatever a guru is telling them to do. Like if somebody's telling you to start an AI agency, and here's all the steps, and here's everything you need, and here's your templates, and then they're just going out and they're doing that, and they're doing the exact same thing as everybody else, and they are selling into big ecosystems like Google, and they are reselling nonsense like AI automations. Those are not nonsense, but what I mean is they're easily replicatable and easily commoditizable. Man, that one's tough for me. An AI automation is cool and it can have a lot of value, but you don't own N8N or Make.com or Zapier. Zapier owns that. Make does. N8N does. So any automations you're building are inside of their ecosystems, and other people can just go resell them. So there's no edge there, right? And coming back down, so the really important thing that people are missing because they're hopping onto these trends so quickly is they're missing doing the really deep work of understanding target market, solving for really big problems, selecting a business model that can deliver and is fundamentally suited for what they're doing to deliver their offers, their products, and their services. That's absolutely key. And attempting to scale on top of broken, unproven, or non-scalable business models just by adding AI, not going to work, not going to help. And then failing to really, again, going back to the early stages, if you have an idea, you're jumping on a trend, you want to do XYZ with AI, you have to go through a lot of essential, what I would call validation steps needed to ensure that that vehicle is actually viable. How do you make money with it? What is churn going to look like? What's the cost per acquisition? Is there actually demand in a supply and demand world? Okay, there's many, many, many things you should be looking at. Just because a guru is telling you to sell a voice AI to a roofer doesn't mean that that's a viable business model, especially when you consider the potential for obsolescence or the potential for being just washed over by these different ecosystem risks. Okay, again, like if you're selling a voice dialer to somebody on Google Maps, would only take Google like a few connective layers in the background to spin that up for those people and make it virtually free. They know everything about them. They know their Google information. They know everything about where their maps location, their reviews, their testimonials, their phone number, all that stuff. Okay, that's not a great business vehicle. It may be a good product in certain ways if you can layer and build more value around it, but if you're missing that step, you don't have a great business vehicle for it, you don't have a good validation for your offer, you have a lot of problems here. Okay, that's going to be a big one. Number 7, and thank you for sticking with me so far. Removing the humanity from your offer and your company and inviting brand aside. That's a funny thing. So ignoring the market. Okay. Here's the thing, right? A market is a up and down representation of trust and want, desire, whatever. Somebody wants something, they're willing to hand over money for it. Somebody trusts the person who has that thing, they're willing to hand over money for it. Okay, so if you're getting this wrong, that there's a big problem, and you're inviting, I guess, brand aside is whatever that is. Okay, so I saw this come up on my LinkedIn. The core, and this is just, a lot of people think this way right now. Like that, the main value proposition of AI is to get rid of all your human workers, okay, just to like delete everybody. And sure, when you rip away the veil, the rapacious capitalist veil that is lying underneath maybe whatever you're trying to build, okay, I can see that point of view. However, there's a real problem here. Again, people buy from people. When you expose yourself to the market in this way, as a company that's basically confidently firing half of your staff while executing at a higher level, um, the problem is the backlash in the market, because people actually do care about people, and so if you are a company that is basically just ripping away that veil and saying screw them, we're getting rid of all of them, the backlash, the PR backlash, is basically in the market. Okay, like people won't trust you or your company if that's your ethos. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't automate stuff away or improve efficiency or all of these things. What I am saying is that actually helping other people, actually providing value, trying to find ways to work within these human networks and structures are a good way to grow your business as well, because as you're helping people, goodwill is forming and building in the market, and you really don't want to lose that. Okay, you're just going to have to trust me on that one. So again, if you want to get my 7 secrets on building a moat around your business, to start thinking about ways to create that defensible moat where it's harder for AIs to come in and commoditize what you're doing, take your business away from you. Again, just go to my Instagram. You can pause this right now, scan this, it'll take you over there. You'll get a full video training walkthrough on these 7 secrets to building a moat, plus a bonus. I threw in a bonus, an 8th secret. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the other side. Remember that any links you need are below this video, including a link to my AI custom business risk evaluator. It'll score whatever risk it thinks your business has for this AI wave that we're in. Take care.